Now I'd like to turn to my colleagues to make their opening statements. Senator Dorgan.
Senator Cantwell, thank you very much. You mentioned the Enron scandal. I chaired the hearings in this committee when Ken Lay came to that very table and took an oath and then took the Fifth Amendment. And I recall those of us who were concerned about what was happening on the West Coast raising it time and time again, and everyone said, well, that's just the market. It's just the market. Don't intervene. The market's at work. Turns out to have been a criminal enterprise, at least in part, and people were fleeced out of billions of dollars. It's time, it seems to me now, I'm not suggesting a criminal enterprise with respect to the pricing of energy, but I am saying there's a lot of what I call dark money moving around here. The same origin, it seems to me, with respect to the subprime loan scandal, dark money that you couldn't see, where it was and how it was being used, the securitizing everything, putting bad loans in with good loans. It's like packing sausage with sawdust, as they used to do, and then slicing them up and moving them around. The same dark money exists, in my judgment, with respect to this orgy of speculation with respect to energy markets. Now, they say there's a free market. People talk about market forces. There's no free market here at all. You have a cartel called OPEC. It's at the front end. You've got oil companies bigger and stronger through mergers that have more muscle in the marketplace. And then you have an orgy of speculation in the futures markets. There's no free market at all. We have what I think is a speculative bubble, and the laws of bubbles is that all bubbles burst. The problem is this bubble is causing a dramatic amount of damage to our economy and to individuals. Those of us that have studied speculations and bubbles understand that when there was a speculation and bubble with respect to tulips, tulip bulbs didn't mean very much because tulip bulbs aren't essential. With respect to oil, oil is essential to our economy, and what's happening today is hurting this economy and the American people. Now, what's happened in my judgment, and I'm really anxious to hear the testimony at this hearing, what's happened in my judgment is a lot of new entrants into the futures markets. We have hedge funds that are up to their neck in futures markets. We have investment banks up to their necks in futures markets. Investment banks even buying oil storage capability in order to store oil for the first time and keep it off the market. We've got a lot of actions being undertaken that undermine what would normally be the forces of the free market, in which supply and demand would determine what the price of oil might be. I have a chart that shows the price of oil and a chart that shows the entrance of speculators. The chart showing the price of oil, which we all know. We've seen what's happened to the price of oil, and there's nothing with respect to the fundamentals that justifies where that line has moved. And second, the amount of speculation, that is percentage of oil owned by speculators, is a line that looks pretty much the same. This dark money with respect to this speculation has moved. It migrates from regulated exchanges to unregulated exchanges overseas. No one quite knows all of the facts here, except that people that drive to the gas pump understand the pain, the personal pain for them and their families. And this country understands the pain through truckers that are trying to figure out how to keep going, how to make a living, airlines who are determining whether they have to go bankrupt or not. All of these have a significant impact on our economy. And Senator Cantwell, I would just make the point that I have long felt, and have spoken at length about this, there is nothing in the fundamentals that justify what has currently happened, and we should and must, through the CFTC, through the Federal Trade Commission and other devices, find a way to wring this speculation out of these markets and get back to something that reflects a price relating to the fundamentals of supply and demand. I appreciate the opportunity to make a comment.